So before showing the work which I did in the past 2 weeks, I'll just give an overview of my project. So basically, I had divided my project in these modules. The fund campaign pages for admin and similarly for the user portal is done. Now I'm working on the action item categories, which is the development part is almost done. I have to write some test cases for few modules. Then we can close off this module as well. Then the next thing would be volunteer groups and volunteers for the tracking of the hours. Then after this module, the last module will be building a leaderboard screen for this number of hours tracked and pledges everything. So this is the overview of my project. Now I'll go with the work which I did in the past 2 weeks. So yes, I was working on this issue. I had to implement few features in this action item category screen and action items as well. So yeah, here is the action item screen. And you can see uh, earlier the functionality for allotted hours was missing in action items, as we need to track the number of hours for action item for particular volunteer. I had to add this allotted hours field as well, uh, and the functionality for deleting action items was missing. Added it as well, and these filters were also missing in action items. The number of allotted hours is optional. Let's say the admin wants to add allotted hours, he can add. If he doesn't want to add allotted hours for an action item, he can skip it as well. Similarly, there are few sorting and searching options. Search by assignee, search by category, and then similarly you can sort. There are few sorting options based on the due date and on status, pending and completed. And then for action items, for every action item, we can also manage the action item categories, wherein we can change the status of the categories to disabled and active. Then the delete functionality for the same was missing, and these filters were not there in this screen, as you can see here. Added this filter search bar. Similarly, you can create it. And then it will reflect on the action items create dropdown. Yeah. Test tree and default one were active, so they were visible there. As this was disabled, it was not visible in the dropdown. And yeah, that's it. I did it in the past 2 weeks, but I had one doubt. Like, these are categories, and for every category there are action items which are linked to those categories. So let's say an admin deletes a particular action item category. uh, Here it was default one. Okay, so if admin deletes default one, then for the moment I have thought of unlinking that action item from that action item category, and that particular field will be marked as null, and on in the UI component it will handle it as an hyphen value, so that it is known that it is not related to any action item category. So is this approach right, or should we delete all the related action items? Like for the funds, campaigns, and pledges, if we delete the funds, all the related campaigns are also deleted. But in case of action item category and action items, it might not make sense deleting all the related action items if we delete a particular action item category.
I would
If
just,
anyone has
yeah,
suggestions.
I would suggest in that case to just disable, don't allow for the deletion, just for the disablement, or then that way we have a history of what was going on. And similarly for campaigns, we may not want to, it may not be such a good idea to delete campaigns and categories. And and funds for the same reason, because then you lose the history of what's going on, and the organizations may want to keep that information for historical and accounting purposes. So if you can think of a way in which, rather than doing the deletion, just to do a disabling, and but that they would be visible somehow.
Okay, so instead of deleting feature, there should only be a disable feature.
Yeah, and then people should be able to see the disabled ones with some sort of either by filter or like show all, show disable, show whatever. That would be useful,
Okay, yeah,
right? Because I
can
can,
do.
yeah, because can you imagine the organization using this for fundraising, for example,
Hmm.
and they're getting all these funds, and then somebody goes ahead and accidentally deletes a campaign, and then all the pledges go away, and they don't know who to go to say, hey, uh, you haven't provided the funds that you pledged to give, right? You automatically lose the paper trail. So we really have to. I don't think it's a good idea to delete it from from that perspective, and let's see how we can work around that. I wanted to
Okay, then
make
I will remove the deleting feature from the funds and this thing, and instead
yes,
just keep the disable feature.
yes. Glenn, I'm glad that I have a chance to talk with you directly because I was going through and doing videos on how to use the Talua admin, and
Yes.
a few things came up. The first one is that we need to move the agenda items category from the left. Yeah, and that needs to
Yeah.
go.
So
Yeah, that needs to go in settings, just
here,
like you have with action items categories. So that's the first thing. The other thing that I noticed was that when you create funds and campaigns and you drill down, so yeah, so create a fund, right? View the campaign, right? Add a campaign. Okay, right. Add some pledges. All right, so that this is good. The thing that I've noticed is that there's no breadcrumb. You don't know where you are.
uh,
You don't.
here it is.
Yeah, but you don't.
Below.
Yes, but you don't know which campaign, and you don't know
Okay.
which. Right, you don't know which fund, the name of the fund, and you don't know the name of the campaign. Well, it's more noticeable here, but it.
Yeah. A campaign name is here. Maybe
Right.
we can also think of putting funds somewhere.
Yeah. So I think with what was it? It was tags. Meetle was we were talking about having breadcrumbs across there, and we need to have something in which you can back out easily to get to where you want to be. Right. So, for example, if you add another campaign and then just do
Yes.
right, and then now you click on view pledges. You see, you don't know which yeah, you can't see the. Oh, I see.
Uh, we can see
Okay.
the campaign,
Yes,
but
you can. Right.
we should also do for funds maybe.
Yes, we should have the funds in there somehow. Okay, I see.
So for funds, should we keep funds here in this part itself, or instead of keeping generic breadcrumbs, here I should use the fund name, like test fund will be here in the breadcrumbs, then
Yes,
the campaign name.
yes, because the title explains what it is. Fund campaign pledges, right? So you can have the name as a
Okay.
breadcrumb, okay?
Yes, instead of generic, I will do the name itself.
Yes, and I created an issue for this, and then I also created another issue in that the test database, when you load the test database, it doesn't create uh, action item category, a default action item category, and I don't think it creates a default agenda item category.
Uh, there is a default action item category
But is
for
it
every organization. I
y-
don't know about agenda item category.
okay? Yes, the agenda. All right. So that's one. So if you can,
Yes, the
uh,
default is for action item.
yes,
I think it's not for action item
for
agenda
agenda,
category.
yes, right. So what happens is that when you try to create an agenda and assign an agenda item category, it gives an error in the web portal.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that I noticed, I don't know whether this is the case with the version that you're using, but for some reason, the scrolling on the left.
Yes, yes. The scrolling is not there on the left. I
Y-
added
y-
it
oh, you
in.
added it. Oh,
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
Okay, I'm glad somebody noticed it.
And even like when we scroll down, it used to like the settings was not here.
That's
It
right.
used to go inside this button.
Yes, okay,
I changed it. Yeah.
excellent. If you can just comment on those issues that I created, and I'll just assign them to you, or ask your mentor to get them assigned, that would be good.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
I'll comment it.
Right. I thank you for your vigilance on that. That was really good to catch.